I am sitting with Brian Hall for the Be Kind campaign. We would like to discuss K for Kindle in Be Kind. Kindle as in kindling relationships and teamwork. What value do you put on your professional relationships?
So professional relationships is a essential component to overall, accomplishing our hospital mission, having a shared vision, very, very high value. When I think of professional relationships, the first thing that comes to mind are a core ingredient. At its core, I think it's one of my favorite scriptures from the Bible is Matthew 22:39 that talks about that we are to love others as we more than ourselves, and that whole concept of brotherly love is a key concept with building relationships, and I think if we're able to strive to do that, it establishes that relationship, and it kind of makes it easier to have that servant heart, that to really help each other when we need each other. When the challenges come, we can depend on each other, and also makes it easy to show respect. Another key concept with professional relationships is that respect, genuine respect for each other. One way that I see every day here at the ASH that we do that is people being kind to each other, people being courteous, and also tactful and discreet whenever a challenging situation comes at us, for us to be respectful of other people's feelings and communicate our concerns in a respectful manner towards each other. I think if we can get those concepts running together, we are much more successful together, obviously, than alone. And so I think once those concepts starts working together, trust is established, and when we have that trust with each other, we can make mountains become molehills, and it's just much easier for us to get through the day and ultimately accomplish our mission.
Have you personally kindled professional relationships in your career?
It's obviously an evolving process, and something that I work towards every day to try to generate that respect, and when I'm interacting with people, making them feel valued in our discussion, and really listening to folks. And obviously applying those concepts of being kind, courteous, tactful, and discreet. And I think also, showing appreciation whenever something, where we have lots of work here and lots of challenging jobs, and thanking people for the work that they've done, encouraging folks whenever we're working on projects. But at the end of the day, I think it's that that showing that genuine concern, and being there for my fellow coworker.
So what are your thoughts on teamwork?
That's a good one. Teamwork. Well, you've heard the saying, teamwork makes the dream work, and I think if you factor in some of those elements that we talked about with professional relationships, showing respect, having trust, and showing that care and compassion, that brotherly love towards each other. You put those folks with that mindset in a group, and you add to that a shared vision, where your team members have a strong commitment, a compassionate commitment to working together to fulfill that mission or whatever project you may be working on. I think you add that into the mix, and then really showing that value, and that every position is important here. We have 14 departments, over 600 employees, and so every department is equally important when it comes to carrying out our mission. Every person, every job title, regardless of your job title, we're all equally important when it comes to carrying out our mission. And so I think when we have that shared vision and we have a good plan to accomplish our goals, our teamwork shines.
So how can we kindle teamwork here at ASH?
Well, I think we keep moving on. We see awesome examples of teamwork here every day. At the micro level, you're seeing examples of good teamwork at the unit level, where you have nursing teams, treatment teams, maintenance teams, all the departments really working hard together to accomplish our goal. That's our mission, as you know, is to create that safe and caring environment. And so there are just awesome examples every day of our unit staff, departmental teams working together. So I think, specifically, we just keep moving forward and encouraging and motivating each other to make this the safest and caringest place we can for our patients. And also celebrating our successes. I think we need to really capture that, because there's a lot of things that we do well as teams, and making sure that we're celebrating those successes and recognizing folks for doing that really good job. And also too, the fact that recently we had a Joint Commission survey, and one of the requirements for accreditation is that we are providing the best environment for our patients, specifically around safety and care. And when the surveyors came in, that was one of the first things they recognized, are the teams that we have in place, and the fact that we are creating that environment. And that is an example, I think, of the final fruit of our work product, is that we are creating that safe and caring environment. It's our teams, our unit teams, our departmental teams that are working really good together collaboratively with a shared vision of commitment to make it the best for our patients. So, and the Joint Commission Gold Seal approval, I think, is the kind of the drop the microphone, example of, hey, we're doing it. So I think we keep moving forward and keep trying to improve our performance. Right now, we've got in addition to the Be Kind, the Project Safe and Caring project that's happening out on the hospital is a great example of kind of reigniting or kindling the teamwork opportunities, where we're pulling all teams together, from the programming teams, the nursing teams, the physician teams, the maintenance teams together, and really focusing on our mission and specific goals and things we're working on to make it a better place. So,
thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
In 1986, Steve Jobs was forced out of Apple and bought a small company for $5 million. That company was Pixar. And he stayed Pixar's CEO until 2006. During that time, Steve Jobs taught us valuable lessons about the difference between good teamwork and bad teamwork. You see, in 2000, Pixar was moving offices, and they had plans to build 3 separate offices, one for computer scientists, one for animators, and one for Pixar executives. When Jobs learned about the plans, he scrapped it immediately. Why? Because he knew the entire Pixar team needed to be together, to have one big space, and a meeting place right in the middle. Because he knew that great teamwork requires connection. See, every team's got to figure this out at some point. This is how teamwork goes. That everything goes great until it doesn't. And then what? When things get hard, you're losing the championship game, the business stops making money, your marriage is strained. That's the true test. because every team reaches that moment and they never expect to. So the difference between good teamwork and bad teamwork is defined not when things are easy, but when things get hard. That's when great teamwork comes down to these three things. First, during the tough times, do you drift apart or stay connected? It's a critical distinction. Steve Jobs knew how important that fork in the road can become for a team. He knew there would be tough times. So his answer? Stay together. We build our office to always be connected. Good times or bad times, we're going to keep running into each other. We're going to keep figuring this out. The Chicago Bulls dynasty lost many times before they finally won. The difference was they stuck together during the bad times. They didn't drift apart. They fixed the problems because they didn't run from the problems. FC Lyon, the amazing women's football team, perhaps the most successful team in the world right now, needed to break through before they went on to win 7 titles in 10 years. When things get hard, grow together. The second key between good teamwork and bad teamwork is trust. For years, Google ran some internal research called Project Aristotle, which was Google's deep data dive into what makes highly effective teams. And the two top determinants were feeling safe on the team and feeling like others were dependable. It was trust. Trust that my voice will be heard, that it'll be valued, it'll be appreciated, and at the end of the day, we'll get our work done. Teams aren't always the happiest groups. They don't always make life easier. In fact, oftentimes they make it harder. But when push comes to shove, a good team trusts each other, and everyone has a voice. Think about the best leader you ever worked for. Their bar height was high. Work wasn't easy, but it was fulfilling. You had a role. Others had a role too, and at the end of the day, everyone could trust each other. And that trust is so vital because of the third key between good teamwork and bad teamwork, that teams plateau before they peak. The foundational research into teams was really clear on this point. People like Bruce Tuckman and Timothy Briggs back in the 1960s and 70s figured this out. Teams have a natural plateau. They get together, they start figuring things out, then their performance starts to normalize and level. And not the level they could be capable of, but at a natural threshold. And to reach their peak performance, in order to break through that threshold, teams need some kind of leadership to push the bar up. That's a big part why leadership matters. Now that leadership can come in lots of different forms: a motivational breakthrough, a moment where people rally, agitating people out of autopilot, something like that. But oftentimes that leadership doesn't come without some pain, without some discomfort. And if you don't trust each other, when you try to break out of that plateau, you simply break apart. Think about the years of hard work before the success arrived. That's the difference between hitting the plateau and reaching the peak. It takes the foundation of trust, then the leadership to push it. Think about Sheryl Sandberg at Facebook, or think about what Steve Jobs brought back to Apple when he rejoined, that push from plateau to peak. It's the fundamental law of teams, that everything goes well until it doesn't. And then what? That's when bad teams unravel and good teams rally. So don't get caught off guard. You know that these teamwork challenges are coming, whether you're facing them now or not. So build a structure to stick together. Build trust at every moment, even when you don't think it matters. And foster leadership that will push you from a plateau to the peak. That's good teamwork.